What's another slopper? It's an ad salesman. Right? To me, that's what ad salesman, pardon me if there's any ad salesman here, but ad salesman, marketing manager, that's the marketing manager. And they're gone. Those jobs have been automated, whether it's AdWords or mobile ads or whatever else, we're finally taking not just the manufacturing economy, but the service economy, and we're taking those kinds of jobs and we're saying, you know what, we don't need that glad-handling ad salesman going in and shaking hands with the account. Is not all of it, but a lot of it can be automated with machines. Travel agents, right? Kiss them goodbye. I mean, travel agents barely get commissions anymore because you can take their front end and automate it. Checkout counters, that's at Home Depot. Well, there's the self-service at Home Depot. Again, taking those jobs and shooting them and getting rid of them, turning them into green jobs, Soylent Green jobs. There's that guy, I love that guy at Blockbuster. Forget about downloading movies, which isn't there yet because of the thief side of things, which we'll get to. But Redbox, buck a night. You don't need someone sitting there, putting, I think it was Harold and Kumar, putting 100 copies of Harold and Kumar up for the big rush that's going to come in. You put them in a box, and with a clever piece of code, you automate the task. These are slopper jobs. Then there's this guy. I mean, we tend to forget all the other service economy jobs, and there's James. He's got, I don't know, an 8-inch gangly wrench. I don't even know what that thing is. He's got some pretty cool tool, but he's being replaced too by these, it's already taking place on the OBD, I think that's an OBD2 plug, right? You plug it in and the diagnostics of your car, comes up and tells you what's wrong with it. And I'd rather have the jobs in this economy being those that are writing code on those machines and rolling them out and training personnel on how to operate these things and become system operators than someone sitting there going, yeah, there's a little rattle in the back of your car. I need at $175 an hour to keep it for a couple of days. And all of a sudden the bill for your mechanic is more than your car's worth. Okay, there's still, for all those jobs that have been automated, there's still millions of slopper jobs that have yet to be automated. I mean, here's a line out the DMV in California. We all hate doing that. The easiest thing to do is to turn that DMV computer around and let all of us, enter our information ourselves. And sadly, anything that's related to government jobs is by definition an unproductive job because there is no output. It's very hard to define any type of output. And we're in an economic cycle where there are more government workers. I mean, more and more government workers, and most of the time they're involved with this, washing their hands of responsibility before returning to work. I mean, they don't care about productivity, and the more government workers there are, sort of the less wealth that can be created for the economy. You get committee meetings. I mean, you guys know about this, committee meetings to create signs like this, right? Caution, this sign has sharp edges, and on the bottom it says, also the bridge is out ahead, right? And, someone got a promotion for this. I'll read this to you. That's the one day we experimented with giving our employees guaranteed job security, right? And the output spiked down. So you can add teachers. There's all sorts of slopper jobs that have yet to be automated that I think is the opportunity over the next 10 to 20 years. And again, what I'm trying to provide is sort of an umbrella or a filter on how to look at great opportunities for technology to defrag the economy. Okay, sloppers, as I went through this, I go, gosh, there's more than just people moving things from one side of the room to the other. There's others that charge more for just moving things from one side of the room to the other. And those are super sloppers. And super sloppers are, hi, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, my shoes cost $600, right? It's the branded, it's the image, it's the super sloppers are the guys, the marketing, the buzz, the brand, that charge more for things when they're not worth anything. For example, this beautiful Rolex. It's always 10:10, by the way, when you look at a watch in an ad. Well, this is 10:11. Today's the 28th. The 28th of what? I don't know. I don't own a Rolex, but this has got to be at least 10 grand for the Oyster perpetual date chronographer, whatever, right? 10 grand for little gears that you got, a lot of those you still have to wind them, right? They don't even have batteries. And I think watches should be free. And they are, right? I mean, we all carry around a watch. And by the way, look at that. It tells military time, right? For free. And has a screensaver in front of it. I mean, the idea that someone is creating wealth by charging you more for the same functionality is something that will always be in the economy. People will always be brand conscious, but don't think of it as wealth. It's a derivative of wealth. It's like the housing market. It's a derivative of wealth. It's not a productivity solution. Same thing with luxury goods. Hey, Uma Thurman. Dior and Louis Vuitton and Gucci loafers. You know, feel free to pay. I don't pay for those. You know, I think that works just as well. The point being is there are ways to look at the economy and find people that are charging more than they should and doing things in unproductive ways. You know, the brand thing goes towards the food, back to the food service business and branded sugared water. And I think, you know, there are unbranded products. This nice Soylent Green soda that you can pay a lot less, and as soon as you pay a lot less, there's money left over for more productive parts of the economy. Okay, so that's super sloppers as a subset. Now, this is where it gets fun. Sponges. Sponges are those, again, that charge more, not because of some image or brand or something like that. They charge more because they limit supply. They purposely lower the number of a certain type of workers so that they all can get paid more. And we know some of these, right? They take a test, right? As soon as you have to take a test to get a job, they would say, wow, we need to weed out, only the people that are qualified should have these jobs. But anytime there's a test for a job, it's bogus. They're sponges. They're trying to rip you off. For example, you know, beauticians. Of course, they're not called, I call them barbers, but they're not even beauticians anymore. You got to get a license, cosmetology license. Why? Well, it limits the supply and you can charge more. Brokers, they get 5%. They should get 1%, or a flat rate. I'll pay you $100 if you sell my house, or $1,000, whatever it is. Not a percentage of the value. And why is there a limited supply of brokers? There's a lot more. Because you need a broker's license. And by the way, someone sent me the first question on the real estate broker's test, and there it is. Convince me to buy this jar of urine for $500. Your time begins now, right? I mean, they're trained to overcharge, and again, they overcharge by making us pay too much for their services. Who else? Lawyers. There's a limited supply. There's only so many law schools, but more importantly, you have to pass a very rigid bar exam, which it's similar dopey test questions. And you need a license state by state, and with limited supply, they can charge us the $100 an hour. God, $100 an hour is sort of quaint. $500 an hour, $2,000. There's a guy in London, a solicitor, that charges $2,000 an hour. But the good news is, and I've gotten away from this, is there's a clever piece of code that gets rid of large swaths of lawyers. E-discovery. I mean, every corporation in America is going through, whenever Intel gets sued by AMD, they get deposed and they have millions and millions of pieces of paper that they have to deliver to the authorities. And then, both sides hire truckloads of lawyers to sit there looking for little key phrases. Well, with electronic discovery, you can pay the $1 million up front for a system that goes through and scans and looks for keywords and pops out the end relevance, right? And so lawyers, if I was a lawyer, I would probably be in the business of helping define what e-discovery it is than fighting that trend. But